I saw the Kanye West interviews, one he did with Charlemagne, and the other he did on TMZ. Now, the Charlemagne interview, after I saw it, I was actually framing some ideas that were kind of positive about the interview, because in some respects, he was making references to racial issues in hip hop and the representation of black people in hip hop as being thugs, rappers. He's talking about some of his privacy issues, but also some of the mental health issues. He wasn't calling it a breakdown that he had recently. He said it was a breakthrough. So when you hear people using these type of words, clearly this is the language of clinical therapy. This brother was in a mental health institution for a period of time after having what he called a breakthrough. And, this led to him having an interview with TMZ. Now, what I would say from the interview with Charlemagne, I also saw that Kanye West is very obsessed with how he is perceived in the media. Despite the record sales, it seems to me that he doesn't feel he's as big of a profile as he thinks he should be. So that's what I think is the backdrop of the TMZ interview that he did, because in the TMZ interview, I think this dude was just trying to be like an attention whore. I think he was trying to make some type of backlash to just have his name trending, because from the interview with Charlemagne, it was clear that Kanye West is the type of individual who wants to be trending. He needs his name to be ringing bells, and he needs the radio play that other artists are getting, and he spoke about it in clear terms to let you know that it was very important for him to be trending, and as he called himself, super high profile. All of these type of terms to show you the narcissism behind his statements. But he goes on TMZ, and on TMZ, speaking to these guys on TMZ, he made a statement that slavery must have been a choice because we were there for 400 years and it was a large number of us. And then he made a statement saying that he feels like we're mentally imprisoned. So I think we can call that like the gaffe of the century, because although he gives a little bit of clarity after the statement, he did say that he feels like we mentally imprisoned. So in order for us to be on the plantation that long, it had to be some type of psychological setback that we were having for a period of time, mentally imprisoned. But despite the alternative interpretations that I might be able to get from the statement, what I noticed, a statement I heard from SETI online, he did make mention of the Jewish Holocaust, and he said that even the slightest mention of the Holocaust could cause a person financial consequences, or I guess legal consequences, because the Jews treat their genocide as it should be treated, as a genocide, as a crime against humanity, as something that should never even be playfully referred to in any form or any fashion. But when it comes to the African Holocaust, which went on for so long, it went on for in excess of 400 years, because we're still feeling the ramifications of the enslavement, mentally, physically, emotionally. We still have a lot of setbacks psychologically because of this process. So for him to make light of it, and he made light of it with some white commentators. So it's basically like saying you make light of our plight. You made light of our situation for the world to see. Disrespected us, dragged our ancestors through the mud. People who had no choice over their conditions. People who are unarmed, under oppression from armed terrorists. people who actually enslaved human beings. So you can't really blame our ancestors for not escaping due to the numbers. We all know that Stockholm syndrome is real. We all know that the plantation psychology is real. If a person grew up in that environment since a child, very few would have the courage to escape or to rebel. But there's a clearly documented history of rebellion on plantations. So he could never really assert that we were there willingly or by a choice, as he put it, because there were clearly people like Nat Turner, and in the Bahamas we have our local Nat Turner in the form of Pompey. Pompey was a slave or an African in captivity who rebelled against the establishment, stole muskets from plantations, and attempted to have rebellions on other plantations to free other slaves and other people of that condition. So there was never a time when Africans actually were willingly oppressed, willingly in a situation of captivity without some form of response or without actually having a problem with the situation. So Kanye West, you saw what happened to Bill Cosby. You saw what happened to Russell Simmons. You saw what happened to Michael Vick. The handwriting is on the wall. You know, stardom is a temporary thing. Today you're trending, tomorrow you could be in a prison cell and the whole media will forget about you. You will just be that dude who went to prison. So just a word to the wise should be sufficient. Kanye West, you need to wake up from the MK Ultra deep sleep hypnosis that you are under, the deep Negro sleep that you are under. Wake up, because in a moment it could be too late. You know, you trying to align yourself with a culture which, as you put it, would turn on you in a heartbeat. They turned on you in a heartbeat at your event, your fashion event, because you were 45 minutes late. So don't you think that they would also turn on you in a heartbeat for anything else? You know, so be mindful of this. Kanye West. Yeah, that was an ambulance, but I think Kanye West is in the sunken place. We saw it on Get Out. This is science. Kanye West currently occupies the sunken place. So we need to wake our brother up. Somebody get your camera and flash this guy in the eyes and wake him up from this hypnosis that he's in, because he's going to let this craving of stardom and this craving to be trending on Twitter, he's going to let that bring about his ultimate downfall and demise. You know, the handwriting is on the wall. But peace to everyone out there. And please, don't worry about that brother. He knows not what he's doing. He doesn't mean our ancestors. Our ancestors were strong people. But one love.